안녕하세요. 저는 Julia Mellor입니다. I am an Australian citizen, but I am a specialist in Korean traditional alcohol. I live in Seoul, South Korea, and have lived there for about 10 years now. And currently I operate a business for education, consulting, and tourism for Korean traditional alcohol. Actually, my foundation of interest in alcohol was in wine. I grew up actually tasting a lot of different wines and I really enjoyed it. But moving to Korea first time 10 years ago, wine was quite expensive to enjoy. So I stopped drinking as much wine and started to look at Korean traditional alcohol. But the first time that I really realized that I could be more deeply interested in this industry was when I took a class in how to brew makgeolli. And the first time I took a class, I started to learn lots of different stories that I found very fascinating. So I went on the internet and I Googled makgeolli in English and I found no information at all and was pretty surprised and amazed that there was no information. So I thought, you know, here's an opportunity for even a responsibility to communicate the sort of stories that I was learning in English to a wider international audience. I think it's extremely important to focus on education of a wider consumer base. There is so much about Korean alcohol that is still so unknown. I think that simply advertising or simply having a campaign that promotes makgeolli is not enough to reach a long-term audience. I think part of the success of the future of helping people educate Korean alcohol is about communicating the stories, the human aspect of the alcohol, and also the history. There is a rich and deep and sometimes troubled history that can really put into perspective everything about Korean alcohol. So instead of simply saying that it's healthy or that it is just delicious, which it is, I think approaching it from a more deeper perspective will allow more people to connect on a more emotional level, and that will allow them to really remember and to communicate and also to tell their friends about what they've learned, because it is so interesting. So part of the focus of, actually a large part of the focus of my organization is about basically educating a wider audience about the brewing process. So currently we do courses at our academy in Korea. So we teach people how to brew at home. Once you learn how to brew at home, it's a very different experience, and then you have a deeper understanding of Korean alcohol. We also do tours, we do brewery tours and tasting tours for tourists that come to Korea to basically help them navigate the world of Korean alcohol, because there's barriers like language, but even not just language, knowing what to order can be quite difficult. But also we work closely with the Makgeolli Association in Korea, and we do festivals, and we always participate with whatever is going on domestically in Korea. We are working to be the English representative of information about Korean traditional alcohol, both in Korea and also internationally. So I think that my vision for the future is to basically bring Korean traditional alcohol to a wider audience in terms of education, but particularly in terms of brewing. I think we would like to start working, when we have consulting for people that would like to learn how to brew makgeolli outside of Korea. Because of the export issues, makgeolli must be regionally produced to be of any good quality. So basically trying to encourage more interest in brewing and also in basically tasting and understanding Korean alcohol.